Hello and good evening, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Guys, we are so thrilled and excited that you have taken the time out to join us tonight on this wonderful and special occasion, which we will get into in a little bit. It's going to be a great show tonight. I want to welcome our Facebook family, our YouTube family, our Instagram family, and of course now our new TikTok family, those that have taken the message to join and be a part of that, and our UK family. I'll tell you, Truth Behind the Truth is getting the message out there. We are trying to grow and just make this word of authenticity and letting people know that they are enough, so special. You know, that is our goal. That is our mission of this show. And if you haven't got that by now, I don't know what you've been watching.
I don't know what you've been watching.
You've been watching the wrong show. So if nobody's telling you that out there, all that stuff out there on YouTube, then you know what, you're watching the wrong show. You need to move yourself over to Truth Behind the Truth on a regular basis every Saturday night at 9 p.m. East Coast, 8 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. where? On the West Coast. All right. Definitely. Yes. Want to say hey to our fellas. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see the powerhouse. You know, this is the powerhouse team. All right. got the 3 more years.
I'm well rested tonight.
What is it? I didn't hear you here.
I said I'm well rested tonight. I took a little nap, so I'm ready.
Oh, good. Woo, okay. That's really exciting. That is definitely. If y'all know our brother Harold, man, tell you, Harold go to sleep before the cows do. That's it.
Right. It's a good thing health-wise to do that. It's a good thing. It's very important to take your naps.
Yeah,
and to go to sleep, get some good sleep. So he's doing the right thing.
That is true.
I'm a man of a particular age. So the rest is important.
Right, man. Absolutely. Yeah, we know.
But you know, in society, you know what? And I'm gonna make this brief. In society, our culture is based on stress. Success comes with stress in the Western world. Nobody thinks about meditate. Well, let me take that back. People do meditate, but it's not so popular to do so. I think it should, meditation and stuff like that, naps. I don't see nothing wrong with taking naps on jobs. I think people need to take naps on jobs to release the tension and the stress that comes with the job. Probably if people would take naps, we will have better customer service. People will be more able to do their work without being so, pressured,
rushed,
and then our bodies will
and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Be still and know. Be still and know.
Right.
Be still and know.
Absolutely, I totally agree. You know, we're the only country that doesn't allow naps. You know, most countries outside of the U.S. allow naps out of their work in their workplace. Oh yeah. You know, I mean, siesta, especially in Mexico, and I do all they have them siesta breaks all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and their work performance when that has happened is the great thing. I think. Wait a minute, Google does that too. Doesn't Google offer a rest hour like 45 minutes out of their day? I think they do. Because like Google's rated one of the most happiest places to work for, so I think they do.
In Silicon Valley.
Well,
hey, nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it should be clear across the board. It's bad enough that people are dying slowly, not fast, but slowly each and every day because our bodies are stressed each and every day. It's a process that our bodies go through when we're not taking the time to rest, to meditate, to take care of ourselves. People say, well, it's not that big of an issue. Yes, it is. It is a big issue.
So
let's keep it moving. I want Nicole to come in.
Because when you're tired and stressed, your body is releasing the stress hormone cortisol. And we wonder why we always are sick and not feeling well, and our immune system isn't functioning properly. It's because, a lot of times we're not getting proper rest and we're stressed.
That's true. That's so true. Totally agree. Dr. Parnell, how are you? How was your week, sir?
Oh, it's been good. It was a week of auditions and stuff coming up, so I'm glad it's getting back to normal. Yes, another audition. Yes, another one.
Yes.
And I just need them to translate into bookings, and I'll be happy. I can buy that house.
Absolutely. I totally
agree. That truth.
Totally agree.
And I got to say, and it was great to celebrate Cinco de Mayo with you guys.
Yes, we did have a good time.
We did.
Harold, we got to get you back on the West Coast, see, because we're doing some stuff out here. We need you to be a
doing
part
some
of
things.
it. Yeah, we doing some things. Okay.
We're gonna be doing more, but it's
Yeah.
It's
See, man, it'll put you soon, as you well know, it'll put you in a place you can have a home here as well as in North Carolina. So you'll be good. You'll be good. You'll definitely be good. So your week was good, Harold?
It was good. Yeah, very good.
Excellent. Anything in particular you want to share with the audience real fast?
I just got a lot of rest this week.
Okay. Hey, all right. All right. So something about you coming down from the mountains always does something for you. I don't know what it does, but it does something for you. All right. Well, great. We're glad you doing all right, man?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
I'm doing good.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to get back into the wonderful conclusion or finale of Sister to Sister tonight. We have all of our sisters together tonight. Okay. We have both parts. It is going to be a lively conversation. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be deep. Okay. It's going to be enlightening. Okay. And I think affirming also, and number one, healing. Okay. So you guys get you some popcorn, get you some wine, get you whatever you need to come back. You get your 2-minute break here before we come back. Sit in front of your TV, your home, whatever you're watching Truth Behind Truth on. But get ready for a great discussion. We'll introduce our wonderful ladies when we come back from commercial break. We'll be right back, guys.
Yes.
Hey. All right, and we're back. Guys, thank you again for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. Want to say before I'm sure our wonderful guests saw the little Mother's Day presentation that we did for them as a short surprise. We do want to wish all the mothers that are watching Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Without the mothers, hey, we wouldn't even be here.
Oh, well,
without them, we would not be here. Okay. So happy Mother's Day to all of them. But without further ado, we need to go ahead and get into this show tonight because it's going to be really good.
What you drinking over there, Panera?
JB said go get you some wine, so I got my wine.
You got his wine. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and bring these beautiful ladies on. All right. Oh, man, I'm telling you, 7 of the most powerful women on the planet. All right. We're going by first name tonight. We're gonna call them all doctors tonight. They're gonna all be doctors in their philosophy tonight, okay? Yeah. So we're gonna start out with Dr. West, Dr. Diana West, Dr. Tara,
yes,
Dr. Twana,
yes,
Dr. Melissa, Dr. Ethel,
yes,
and Dr. Susan, and Dr. Linda. Yes. Hey, ladies.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful opening. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise you guys with that a little bit. I just said,
it was very nice. Thanks, baby.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Appreciate that. Good. I wanted to surprise you guys because you guys are so deserving of that in so many ways. I mean, as mothers, and that is just one of your powerful assets to this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because without mamas, and I'm gonna say mamas, okay. So it depends on the circumstance. Sometimes your mother, but sometimes your mama. Okay. And then there was a time you were mommy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
You guys have taken up so many names and so many roles, and so you're really powerful. This is why I felt so honored, in the opportunity to have this conversation that we're having, sparring or being birthed through women. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because you guys can make change happen. You have done it for centuries, but I think now we have moved into a day and age where it doesn't take as much as it used to for you guys to be able to do it, because you can get in front of a cell phone. You can do anything right now to start moving some level of change. That's very powerful. It gives you guys a voice where at one time in life they didn't have a voice. You guys didn't have a voice, because they were always shut down for something. Men shut them down. I mean, men typically shut that voice down.
Yep.
And I think, in my opinion, why they did that is because they were always intimidated by your strength. Because when you band together, you move mountains. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get biblical real quick. I think that when Jesus gave the parable is that with faith of the mustard seed, you can move mountains. With that parable that he gave, I think that he was speaking to the women of the group. Okay. He's talking to the women of the group. Okay. Because here's the thing: women have the ability, to take little and make much out of it.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Even
That's
like
right.
You like to bring up the first fish fry, okay?
Oh, the fish fry! Oh wow! The five fish and 2 loaves.
Okay, I'm sure he called the women out the group and said, "Look, give me some fish, okay? Because y'all know how to pull it together, okay? You guys know how to pull it together, and that is just so awesome. At the end of the day, so I'm excited. I'm thrilled and excited about it all. So let's talk a little bit. Let me see how you guys have been doing real quick. We'll take a few minutes today before we dig in tonight and go from there. So let's start with that. Mama D, you can go ahead.
So what do you want me to say?
Just say how you doing, all that good stuff. How was your week, real quick?
Great week. Started out just a busy, great week, and some things that are happening that are exciting, just kind of bubbling. And then to just today, my daughter who came in from Alabama, because she can't be with us tomorrow, we had a wonderful meal. Pre Mother's Day, so just love seeing her, and then the fellas will try to take me out and do a little something tomorrow.
Gotcha. Oh, wow. Yeah. Gotcha. Tara, how are you, my darling?
I'm doing well. Lots of end of year stuff for the kids with their school, so it's been an insane week. Auditions are popping up. I have Carmel say. Yay, hallelujah.
Yes.
So my daughter's got some retapes and callbacks and ADR on Monday. Like, she's insane. So I'm just trying to get her schedule and my schedule and my daughter's schedule and my husband's schedule, you know, the things that a mother does.
Exactly. Exactly. Tell us real quick. I know because Skylar, she's got and when is the movie going to be released? Because I don't know if you guys know that. I mean, Skylar, your oldest daughter, right? Skylar's the oldest one.
Correct.
Now you're talking about a force to be reckoned with that's coming up in this industry. Oh my gosh! I mean, her daughter. Oh wow! I'm just telling you guys, she's got a major film coming out. You know, when have you got the release date? Can you talk about it yet?
We can talk about it. We just don't know the release date because of COVID. Okay. So we're hoping to find out more in ADR on Monday. But the movie is called Blood, and she plays the lead opposite Michelle Monaghan and Skeet Ulrich. It's shot in Canada for 3 months. It's a psychological thriller by Brad Anderson, who did The Machinist. So, you know, I know she's my daughter, but she killed it. You know, it's like, it's a really cool, it's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see where God takes it, where God takes her. You know, we know nothing, but we have total faith.
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Twana, how was your week, darling?
It was wonderful. I had a wonderful day today. I started it out with a green smoothie. Reminded me of taking care of my body, and spent the day with my mother-in-law. I always like to say mother-in-law because sometimes it's not enough law in the world to keep you connected, okay? But the love of God will help you do what you need to do. So I had a good day.
That's good.
Yeah. Susan.
Great. I had a great week. I was really busy. I'm an artist also, and I have a painting that was a commission painting, and I'm just struggling through it, sort of. And then yesterday I was just like, you know what? I'm just struggling with this too much. I'm just going to relax. And then I woke up this morning and it just popped in my head how to fix that painting. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. And then tomorrow, of course, I'm going to see not all of my kids, but several of them. So that's exciting. So, and happy Mother's Day also to all the moms.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Miss Melissa.
Hi, I am absolutely wonderful this evening. I had a busy week. My friend Tanja has opened up a gym where I'm working there with her. It's TM Health and Fitness, 5354 Atlanta Highway, Montgomery, Alabama.
All right.
And that's what I do every day. I didn't allow some things going on in my life to mess with me. I didn't skip a beat, and I find myself in the gym every evening. And I am happy to be here. You know, those 100 pounds gone make me feel really good about myself.
Wow.
Wow. You said 100 pounds?
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, you got to call me again later on.
I took some of those. That's what I took them from you.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
Oh.
Darling Ethel.
Hello. Well, I had a great week. I've been on
we know.
I got engaged this week. I'm just feeling on top of the world. I went out and my fiance brought me out. My fiance brought me out for some seafood and just had a really lovely day. And I'm really very blessed and happy to be here with everybody tonight.
Wonderful. All right, babe. My darling Miss Curtis. Linda.
I've had a good week. I actually watched the show there from Saturday the 24th. I
did too. I watched it too today.
I was in Georgia that weekend I actually flew down to Daytona to see my daughter and then went to Jekyll Island for a meditation weekend and came back to the hotel room after a sunset meditation and caught the show and enjoyed you ladies totally. So I'm really excited to be here with y'all tonight. Just getting ready for, tomorrow with Mother's Day. 2 of my girls came home with cannolis and a cassata cake and
Nice.
And angel wings. And my son stopped by and dropped off some gelato and some cheesecake and some wine.
So the Italians.
I don't know what it is exactly, but something's happening. Or I'm just going to eat a lot tomorrow. That's all.
In case you know she's Italian, okay? Just in case you know, okay?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, my 2 youngest girls, they drove 45 minutes back to where we used to live to my favorite bakery to get me those Italian goodies.
Oh,
so very special.
Wow.
Yeah, very special.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to dig in, okay? And for I think, ladies, I think what we're going to do when we come back is that I have a cross challenge, and I'm going to partner you up with a partner in a few minutes, but I'll tell you about that when we get back. Look at Tawana, I love it. And we'll be right back after this commercial. Hi, and welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth with all of our beautiful and wonderful guests tonight. All of my dear heart, sweetheart ladies, we love you guys for being here tonight. I'm telling you. Well, anyway, so as I said before we went to the break, I'm going to create a little bit of challenge. You guys, like everybody looked at me like, oh, what in the hell is he going to do with us tonight?
Exciting.
It's going to be fun. Okay, it is really, I mean, but fun, seriously, but kidding fun. Now, the fellas, I want you guys to think in your mind, because this is where you guys are going to participate in this little exercise, and then we'll talk a little bit more a little bit later. All I want you guys, fellas, I want you to give a scenario to the females as I put them together of a current event, okay, and explain that current event to them, and I want to see how each of them deal with that current event, okay? So what I'm going to do, all right, let me see. Linda and Mama D, you guys are partners. Okay.
Okay, we got this.
All right.
Yes, we do.
Mama D, your partners. Okay. Let's see. Tara and Melissa, you guys are partners. Okay. Now, there's of course going to be one out, and then the person that's left out of the ladies, you'll be able to. You'll give your overall viewpoint of how you thought they handled the situation. Okay. Then we'll switch it up. You follow me? Everybody got that? Okay. All right. Let's see. I got it. And then I got, okay. So Susan, am I missing somebody? Right. I got, hold on. I got Tara. Okay. Tara, Melissa, Mama, and Linda. Okay. Twana and Susan. Okay. You'll be the commentator after their scenario. Okay. So I got Twana, you and Susan. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody good? All right. So Parnell, you're always good at this. So go ahead and give us a brief scenario on a current event. And so now how are you going to do it? Because you got to think about how your partner's going to react to this, and then give it from your perspective, and let's discuss it. Okay. And just meet it what comes to your mind immediately. But first, like I started out, first of all, you think about humanity. You think about it as human beings first. Then you think about it as female. Then you think about it as through your ethnicity. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Parnell.
Oh, boy, I had to Google something real quick. The COVID-19 bill to fight Asian American discrimination bill being passed. Talk about it. What y'all think?
I don't know what it is.
So Mama D and who are you with, Mama? Yeah, go ahead. You and Susan.
Okay.
You and Linda. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, go Linda.
So, well, first of all, I mean, I'm aware of the discrimination that has been occurring, but I'll be honest, I'm not aware of there being a bill. I'm not aware of, what I will say as a human being, start there without knowing, it saddens me that there needs to be such a thing. That because I know that it's in existence or being drawn up or whatever, it saddens me. Just as a human member of this human race, that anybody else living here, breathing the same air, living in the same place as me, or myself included in another scenario similar, needs to have new laws, new legislation, new bills to protect a right, to protect my daily existence.
Okay.
And if I take that, further as just a woman, it breaks my heart as motherhood for all people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mama D.
I think that Linda, pretty much as partners, we touch and agree on that, because as a woman and a mother and having the compassion and being a passionate person, it certainly, as a human being and a woman, it breaks my heart to see that we're even in the middle of this kind of inhumanity, this kind of mess. And as a Black woman, having, as far as who I am, a woman of color, and the Asian being a woman of color, it just seems like it lumps us in, and it makes me even more heartbreaking to see this, to be isolated, it seems, to women of color. So I agree with my partner. I agree with Linda that the bottom line is it's heartbreaking that in a world that is supposed to be a world in God we trust and we're all created equal, that we're still, after 400 years, we're still fighting. All of us, those minority, we're all fighting. And
we are created equal, but we are definitely not treated equal.
Amen.
Good point. Excellent. Excellent. Ethel, what's your point on what they just said?
I think I'm sorry, I didn't know you were going to bounce back to me. I thought I was going to I think that they're both, in accord what was said. I think that, again, they both have a commonality, which we all really have, of realizing that as a human being, we all have the right to survive, to walk down the street. But the same token, as a woman of color, we realize that the fight is still real. And even after 400 years, we still are being victimized because we're different. We're not of the majority, quote unquote, culture.
Gotcha. All right. It's going to be Tara and Melissa next. So Harold, go ahead and give your scenario real quick. Did you hear me, Harold? Oh, did we lose Harold?
Harold.
Oh,
Harold.
I can
No, I was
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
here.
Now we can hear you. We wanted you to give your scenario for Tara and Melissa of a current event.
Well, one of the real life challenges that a lot of Black men face is just being afraid of driving. And so the scenario is you have a 16-year-old, let's say you have a Black son who's 16, just got licensed and was excited about driving, but is very nervous about driving. What do you say to him?
Tara?
This one is so hard for me because I found out during Black Lives Matter that there was a separate talk that Black moms had to have with their sons versus what a white mom would not have to have with their son. And I felt very sheltered that I didn't know that. It really upset me that my friends were having to have this conversation with their sons. It's disgusting that we are treating children differently. I mean, that's a child. A lot of these crimes that are happening to children in the Black community, and we keep going back to mothers. I can't imagine having to have that conversation with my child because you worry so much as a mother that they're going out behind the wheel, and it's like, oh my gosh, be careful, stay off of the interstate, watch for other drivers, drunk drivers, all these things. You fear for their life, but then you have to add on, watch out for the very system that is supposed to be protecting you because they may kill you too. And that to me is at a level as a mother that I'm going to be very honest, as a white woman, I can't fully comprehend. It's too much to even bear for me to even try and think of what a Black mother has to go through. And it's unfair. It's so unfair. And I'm just happy to see that there's finally these that can help bring change and awareness. And it's very sad to me that it's taken pure documentation to show it, but amen that it's being shown.
Right.
Finally.
Melissa?
On the point of being a human being, it's really sad that we would, like she said, to even have to have that conversation. And as a mom, I don't have boys, I have girls, but we are African American. And I had to explain to them, these are the things that you have to do to make sure that you are safe. And I have to combine my being a mom and being Black together simply because I am a Black mother. And we have confused the word, you have to respect the officer. And it has been turned into fear. And in the past, that's what those two words have been mixed up. Now, because I have in my head, I've been told I have to respect that officer. But in truth, I have to fear this person. And this person is supposed to respect me and protect me. But I have to prepare my Black child to know the difference, but still live in that little bit of fear because it is real. And I don't think everybody realizes that it is real. Until somebody started taking a picture with their phone and posting it, nobody knew that this is real. Everybody had to now accept it. So what do? We got to learn how to present another reality for our children so that they make the difference, because our children are going to be the ones who make the true difference in this stuff that's going on.
Wow.
First, I appreciate Tara acknowledging that she didn't even understand it until Black Lives Matters, because to me, it really has to do with of education. And the fact that she was able to say, you know what, until this, I didn't even know about these conversations. You know, to me, then that's already helps with the healing, because you're able to acknowledge that. Because some folks don't acknowledge that.
Right.
So thank you for doing that. And again, you know, as far as Melissa's word, we know that we have to talk to, you know, as African American women, we have to talk to our children differently. We have to let them know, you know what, keep your hands out. Don't make sudden moves. Don't go for your wallet. Ask permission to go for your wallet, you know, and also acknowledge the fact that we can do all that correctly and still end up dead.
Yeah. Right. Wow. All
But
right.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure. Go ahead, Linda.
I don't know if my African American sisters here this evening saw the shows, one of the first 2 shows that we were on, but I know that I mentioned it there. I have 3 Caucasian sons that I gave birth to. I also have 4 adopted daughters that are Black or mixed, but Black, and my son who is Black. And kind of piggybacking what Tara said, but I learned it, of course, firsthand, because my first 3 sons are Caucasian and they all drove. And when we're talking about that specific topic, and I told them what I told them, and the same kind of things about respecting and doing this. And if you get pulled over, and the conversation that I had to have with my 4th son, their brother, was so very different and so very, I didn't like what I had to say, you know, but I knew that I had to say that to protect him. And I knew that I had to say that for the world that we're in, him in his 20s and them in their 30s and early 40s. But just because of this is the world that we live in. And when I've shared that with some of my Caucasian friends, you know, they've been like, I would have had no idea. And some have cried. And when I share that with my Black girlfriends, they're like, yeah, it really sucks, doesn't it? You know, and that is the, you know, the situation. And I fear for him different when he's in Atlanta, if he's doing some film work and he's, you know, if he gets disoriented, or the last time he was there, he got around with public transportation and the filming ran late and he got turned around and whatever. I was totally, and then his phone died. And so I was totally afraid for him to be a young Black man walking down the street with a backpack, not knowing where he was at. And I know I would have been equally as afraid for what could happen if it was my Caucasian son, but not the same. And this is 2021 and it's wrong.
Wow.
And it's hurtful. It's hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And his godfather is a Caucasian police officer.
Wow.
Love that he has and the respect for him.
Right.
I even had to say, but he's not Uncle Jerry. You know, any other officer that comes to the car, you can't be as casual with, and because he won't get that. You know, so exactly. So you moms, my utmost respect and admiration. It's
Can I weigh in on this too, really quick? Because this, I think, is such a huge subject, and it's an easy way as a white woman to talk to another white woman about just giving them a little bit of understanding and, like you said, Ethel, education, because as a mom, we all are the same. You know, and we hurt for our kids, our nieces, our nephews. You know what I mean? We have that mother's heart, whether we have children or not. We have a mother's heart. That's the way we were made. And my first experience with this was when I have a girlfriend who's a Black girlfriend, and her son about 5 years ago had a terrible situation with law enforcement. He did nothing wrong. I don't want to go into all the details. I'm sure you guys can imagine what happened. And he's just the sweetest kid. He was traumatized from it. And my girlfriend was traumatized too. And it was the first time I realized about having the talk. I didn't know any of that. And that was like 5-6 years ago. Same for me. I cried. It was so sad. And even sadder, I have 6 kids. I have 3 boys and 3 girls. And I've never had to say that to my children. I never even had to think about it. It didn't even ever have to cross my mind, not for a moment. And when I say to other white women, you know, I explain that's privilege. That you can't deny that. That's privilege. Let's just leave it there. If there's nothing else you can understand about white privilege, let's just say that's a privilege. That makes me want to cry, that I can put my kids in a car and not have to think about that horrible concept that the very police officers that should be there to make you safe are the ones that could take your life out for no reason.
If they get pulled over, they're going to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Our kids, they're going to get a ticket.
Yeah. But what's going to happen to them? That's privilege. That's privilege that I've never. And I'll tell you, when I say that to another white woman and explain it that way, and probably Tara and Linda have had that experience too. Well, Linda, you said women cry. They do. Women, they get it. And they always say, I didn't know. That's the first thing. I didn't know that. Or they ask me, is that for all Black women have to do that with their kids?
Yes.
You know, because they think I'm just talking about my friend. I go, no, all Black women have to have this conversation with their sons. I don't know, it's horrifying to me. It's just so sad. But anyhow, I wanted to weigh in on that because that's my one place that nobody refutes that. When they understand, that's privilege. Come on, my gosh, that's privilege.
So, go ahead, Twan. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Twan.
I wrote down just some thoughts prior to us getting together, not knowing what you were going to say or do or ask. And one of the things I wrote down in my notes is bring up this week's All American. I don't know if you all watch that show or not, but All American is a weekly show, and this week's topic, and I shouldn't say it's a weekly show. It is a weekly show, but it's a dramatization of high school life. And this particular week, what they raised up was a young Black girl was pulled over by the police. And she was actually, the police rolled up on her. She was sleeping in her car. And when they came up on her, she was like, what's going on? She was disoriented. And so she began to like, what's going on? And they ended up killing her. She was asleep in her car on the side of the road. Then at the same time, there was a white girl who was the daughter of the DA. And she was pulled over because she was drunk and driving with alcohol. But she lived to tell her story. Wow. And so they paralleled the two on this show of how the Black girl never, ever she made a smart decision to pull over. And the white girl kept driving. But when they realized she was white and it was the DA's daughter, and I'm sorry, she wasn't white, she was mixed race. Okay. But her skin was lighter. And so she was so infuriated by the fact that she was let go by the police, but her friend was killed by the police. And the difference was their skin color.
Wow.
It's a powerful show. So if you get a chance, pull it over. It's not necessarily based on a specific true story, but when you look at it, it's like, this happens all the time. And so if you get the chance, just go into All American this past Monday. And I think it's a continuing storyline, but whoever wrote the script just knocked it out the ballpark. And my husband said, "Are you crying?" I'm like, yeah, because it's a true story. They're dramatizing it, but it happens so often.
Wow. Beautiful. So, all right. So real quick, and then we're going to move on. Your scenario for Twana and Susan.
Oh, Lord, I forgot about that. Okay. What's that?
Me too.
Well, since we're on the subject of policing, because of the George Floyd and the Ma'Khia Bryant and all of the situations and scenarios that has happened around police shootings, how do you both feel about defunding the police? Or do you think is it necessary to reform instead of to defund? How do you feel about that? Do you think we should defund the police, or do you think the police department should be reformed?
They should be reformed.
Yeah.
That's one second. They just should be reformed.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings. I think that the word defund, it's misleading, but that's what they chose to call it. So if you look at a budget and you look at where the money is going in the budget, and you make a decision, you know what, we're going to reallocate this money, and instead of going to this, it's going to go to training, or it's going to go to this. So I think defund is misleading, but the bottom line is I do think that it needs a makeover, a totally different makeover, and they need to go in and clean up, clean house, clean out.
Absolutely.
Right, Susan.
I agree with that. I tend to look at things kind of really like looking at it really biblically in the sense of you cannot legislate out of the human heart hatred. Hatred is there because it's there. I don't think legislation can change that, right?
Right, that's a good point.
To me, racism is hatred, and it's a spirit. So yes. I agree with you. The reformation is what needs to happen. Like, how do these racist cops get filtered through the system? I don't understand that. Why isn't there a better filtering system? You're giving somebody a power and authority and a badge and a gun that they can't tell the difference between a gun and a taser. There's problems there. I mean, there's so many change the color of the taser. I mean, I don't know. There's just so much reformation that needs to happen, and better training. Why the hell are these guys given a badge and a gun? They barely. My ex-husband wanted to be an officer, and he was going through the process. Thank God he changed his mind, because I just couldn't have handled that. But watching the process, what they go through, they barely go through anything. It's a very and to me the psychological interview was so short. Now I don't want to say my ex-husband was crazy or anything. I mean, if you want to infer that from what I'm saying, you can take that any way you want. But I'm just saying there should have been ding some red flags, along the way there. But why are these guys, put through so quick? Why do they have such limited training? Why isn't there more psychological training? I mean, to me, those are my bigger problems with the police department is that more than anything else.
Gotcha.
We're probably on the same page.
Right. Ethel, give you a wrap up on that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say in this one because they're both coming from the same,
Yeah, we agree.
The same train of thought. Hey, I agree.
One of the things that I will say is that the police department in this country, in the United States of America, the police department evolved out of slave patrol.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's where it came from. And so when you've got the root, when you know what the root is, then that helps you to understand the culture that we're currently living in. And it's like a tree. It goes on and on and on unless you cut it off and dig down into the root. So it evolved out of the slave patrols.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And that's the answer. And that's the answer to Susan's question. How do they get through the system? It's because those that are getting them through the system are the racist ones that are allowing them to get through so easy. And it's a root. It's a root.
Absolutely. I we touched on this, I think, last week on when we were on the show, and I mentioned that until we as a group of humanity start defunding, meaning that we stop supporting the companies and the organizations that fund these type of institutions, then it's still going to exist. Because I put out before that Johnson & Johnson is the #1 leading company in America for the criminal justice system. They make money by every person that's locked up. They make money off of those people. Johnson & Johnson, same way we did our hair with and everything else. They're the #1 leading to filter money into the prison system. So until we as a group of people stop allowing that or start taking that money back from them, it won't change. You know what I'm saying? We've got to change this as a group of people dealing with it from our pocketbooks. You know, we like to say that, you know, if the black people start spending money, you know, but it's a collective effort here. You know what I mean? It's a collective effort to defund these situations that are out there. But I'm going to move on real quick because I know I can open it up. But now this is another. Now, I want you guys to take a deep breath on this one, because this is one of the ones that a question for everybody at this point. Okay, you can answer with your partner if you want, or whatever, or cross talk about it. But ask yourself the question: why is it that in your I'm gonna say your sphere, your gatherings, your surroundings as individuals, why is it that, and if you look at your own pictures and your own gatherings, why is it that your events or your representation, things you put on Facebook and other things, that you don't see a mixed environment with the people you associate with? Think about that for a moment.
Wow.
You look back, if you just pull up your Facebook page and look at where you associate. What do you spend your time? Who do you spend your time with on a regular basis? And this is for everybody. Why is that not time in that space integrated?
I'm the only white person in my family right now in my house. I am, and I have, and whether it's my children or my friends, you know, like. So for me, it might be a little different. And because that's one thing that now growing up, that wasn't that way. That's my adult life. I mean, I grew up, I didn't know one African-American person until I was 18. And that was one student that moved from where they were to our town so he could play sports in our schools, because it was a better school.
Wow.
And, you know, then it was not until I sought those relationships out after I adopted my first daughter, because she's biracial, but as a Black little girl, I wanted to make sure that there were women in her life that looked like her, because I knew that would become something for her at some point. And then continued to adopt, you know, more children of mixed race or full African American. And so as I started making certain there were those efforts, then it grew, and then, you know, I have a large friend base, and my travels with and work in Atlanta is mostly African American. So for me, it might be a little different, but like I said, it was intentionally originally sought, but now it's just, I don't particularly seek out friends. I seek out friends on heart and spirit, and you know, and the color is not of an issue, you know, like intentional there.
Right. Okay. Mama,
I think for me, the truth behind the truth is that I have a lot of Caucasian friends, and on my Facebook, on my social media, I've had to block them or unfriend them because they would come on, because they were not all like-minded. Whatever your political persuasion is, I don't get that too deep. You might know what it is, because I might be posting pictures of Obama and Biden and all the rest of them. You're just gonna know that. But you can't come on my page and say to me, I don't understand how you could support blah, 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 blah. You should support, and you're telling me to support somebody that totally would never support. I'm talking about the political arena. So what has happened, because we're not like-minded, then I'm just blocking you. You're not my friend anymore, baby. I mean, I understand. But get off my page, because I say what I want to say on my page. So I think because the like-mindedness of the men and women of color, and some of those who are Caucasian, my friends who have a like mind, you don't have to totally think like me, but you know your boundaries and your limits. Okay, Mama D is a Democrat and I'm a Republican, but that's not what our relationship is about. Exactly. I love her, and so I'm not going to get into that. So I think for me, when you look at my page, you will see that I do. I mean, I post, and if you got something going on, if Tara has a movie going on, and my girl Scott, if they got something going on, I'm going to like it. I'm going to put it. I'm going to post. I'm going to do. And there we are. Here we go, Big Ten. So that's my story.
Okay.
Can I get out the box?
Twana, go ahead. Twana.
Can we get out the box for a minute? I feel like I'm in a box. You said we could be live and we could just. Can I come out the box?
Oh yeah, sure.
Go for it. When you said some of my friends are Democrat and Republican, right now in this country, we have ourselves in a box. Okay, a Democrat or a Republican box, and we all need to get out the box. It's not about Democrat or Republican anymore. It's not.
Right.
Okay. It is about the right thing. And the right thing is not necessarily Democrat or Republican, but it's about the right thing. And there's certain things that we are talking about and having conversations about that is straight out. It's like, that's not Democrat. That's not Republican.
Right.
That's hell. That's a lie.
Right.
So I'm sorry. When you said Democrat and Republican, I'm like, I got to get out this box. Okay.
Right.
We're not Democrat. We're not Republican. Matter of fact, I have made a decision to become an independent. I don't want to be associated with the Democrats or the Republicans. None of them.
Good.
Okay. It's
Good.
like, I want to make a decision based on what I believe is right and that's in alignment with my creator. And my creator ain't Democrat, ain't Republican, ain't, so it's like, okay, I need to be independent. So I'm sorry, you pushed the button. I'm good now.
I'm glad I did.
I honestly believe we need a populist party for the working class, but that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Melissa.
What I was about to say, my life happens to be so exciting that I go to work, I go to the gym, and I come home. At my job, I have to be very careful about what I post because of the nature of my business. A lot of my friends are Caucasian. I just posted on my page this past week because the class was just amazing. But I was the only little chocolate person in the picture, but that's fine because that's been my life. I just happen to, like it has been said, is like-minded. That's what it's about. It's not about a race. It's about we have same interests, and that's what it is. It's not a fact that I'm not open culturally because everybody who knows me knows that I am. It's just my social media page. Because of the nature of my job, once again, there's just so many things that the people that I'm closest with that are white are at work. So there are things I can't post just out of respect, and that's the only reason why they're not on my page. Now, when I come home, my mama, she black, my kids, they're black. When I go to the gym, the people at the gym are black, but it's not by a choice that I'm making to go seek out black people to be around. It's about a like-minded, a commonality.
I love the like-minded conversation that you guys have. That is so beautiful. Tyra, go ahead.
I think my social media page looks probably different this year than it did last year because most of my social media this year is family because, we haven't been out much. But still, kind of like Dieta said, I mean, I'm sharing and supporting all of my Black friends that have things going on because they're my friend. And it's really, I say this and people are always like, oh, Tara, seriously. I grew up in an area where I was raised that I just don't see color. I always tell my kids, trash comes in every color. So make sure you're looking for the goodness in their heart and what they have as an individual to give you. What are they bringing to the table? So I have friends across the board from every ethnicity and from every far reach of the planet. I mean, we're learning Afrikaans because my daughter's best friend is from South Africa. So it's like we just don't have that black and white. I don't have that filter. You know what I mean? And people always say, they don't believe me. I tell you, are you a good person? And if so, I want to break bread with you. And I want to do life with you.
Right.
And I just don't look like how many Black friends do I have? How many white friends do I have? How many Asian friends do I have? How many South African? It's just not something that my brain computes in any way, shape, or form. It's just not. Somehow God just did not give that to me. That's why I think I'm so ignorant in a lot of ways, like the discussion about the Black driving, scenario. It's like sometimes that blinder that I have serves well, and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm actually having to train myself to be like, okay, no, that's a real issue, and you have to look at that because your friends are suffering. So when you asked that question, I was kind of like, I have no idea. But I truly, like, I have to go on my Facebook and truly, because I don't know. I don't look for that. I just don't.
Right.
Well, you are a blessing, sweetheart. I want to tell you that, because coming up as a young Black child, I was taught that I was Black. I didn't know I was Black. I was taught the difference because my parents knew that it made a difference in reality. Otherwise, I wouldn't know either. But we were taught that you're Black, they're white. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this to conform. So you are a blessing, and I thank God for you having that ability not to have that barrier.
Well, Melissa, and to add on to that, because my friend Jaquetta told me the same thing when I said that to her. She had the same exact reaction. She was like, "What a blessing that is for you, not to be able to see it because I don't have that privilege." And it was like, damn. I mean, that was like a knife to my heart, and that was several years ago that we were sitting out to lunch. And it was like, oh my God. Like, because she the same exact thing. Like, I have to know, because I was telling her I'm raising my children the same way, and she was like, I don't have that privilege. I have to. And she doesn't have children, but she was like, I was raised that way because we have to know. We have to protect ourselves. And I think that was the beginning of my awakening of like, okay, get your head out of the sand, And it's great that I'm teaching my children the same way I was taught, but for them to understand and have empathy and compassion and awareness that these issues exist, so that they don't have this blindness that I have. Now I'm trying
I was just going to tag onto that, Tara, that I think it's good when we say I don't see color, but I think it also has to include, like you were just saying, in seeing color means I also respect the struggles of another color. So saying I don't see color, I think I know what you're trying to say, and I get it, and I agree. I feel the same way where you're coming from, but I also wanted just to tag on there that we also have to recognize color to say, hey, I see your struggle. I see your history. I see where you've come from. I honor and respect where you're coming from. So in a sense, we have to see color kind of in a way. And can I answer the question now also too? Do you guys mind if I, okay. Because it was really funny this week. I had this conversation with Linda about Facebook. I was like, I was looking through my Facebook. Like, I'm just super aware of this subject. And I was like flipping through all my Facebook friends. And I think I had said one of the weeks that I was on the show, mentioned something about I have friends from all kinds of colors, all kinds of backgrounds. And then I thought, is that just what I think? Or do I really have that? So I started looking through my Facebook to see, is this just some BS I've told myself, or is this the real deal? So I was flipping through all my friends, looking to see what colors they were and what races they were and what, transgenders. I've got all kinds of friends. I was looking to see, do I really have the mix of friends that I think I have? And I felt like I did, but what was interesting for me, and I think you said it, Melissa, is the commonality thing, and also, Mama D, you mentioned it too, because like where I live now, it's all white people. I mean, literally, it's white people or Hispanic. There's very, very few Black people here. As a matter of fact, when my girlfriend moved to Atlanta and her 3 kids went with her, I said, well, okay, now the Black population is down to 4, now that you 3 are, now that you guys I mean, there's no Black people here, okay? Which is unfortunate. And I grew up in Detroit, in the city, and when you said I don't see color, this is where I connect with that. I literally, we were the only white people, and I think I told the story of on one of the times I was here. But one of my girlfriends was her mom was, you know, ironing her hair, and I came home and I said to my mom, "Mom, will you iron my hair like Gloria's mom ironed her hair?" I just thought that looked really cool. And I was probably about 4 or 5. I was little. And my mom was like, "Oh yeah, you can't do that with your hair because you're white and your hair would probably melt." And I remember looking at my arm, like just like becoming really aware of, you know what I'm saying? So there's a part of that I really was, you know, connecting with that. But anyways, so for me, I feel like I have to work really hard to consciously make sure I'm not just surrounding myself with the people I'm around every day. You know, I have to be very intentional about making sure I'm allowing other people into my life that don't think the way I think. But I don't post anything political. I don't post anything about my opinions about the only thing you'll see my opinion posted on is when it has to come to race. You'll see that race issues on my Facebook. Other than that, I don't say anything because honestly, I just don't want the argument. You know how people are. I don't want to listen to what I know what I think. I don't want to listen to somebody arguing about my, you know, post. And I'm looking for unity at all times. I just want to see the unity. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, my very long answer to your question is I've really been thinking about this a lot and thinking I need to be even more intentional than I have been to make sure that I'm not just staying in my little world.
Gotcha. I certainly applaud you for that effort. Ethel, give you a quick wrap up on that, then we're gonna move on to another quick subject.
Okay, so you want me to answer the question or just go ahead and
wrap up what you've heard, basically.
Oh, okay. So wrap up what I heard is that everyone has a whole lot of different Facebook page. I mean, you know, the reality is that, you know, hopefully everyone seems that everyone has a very diverse work Facebook page going on. They're aware of who's there and who's not there. And I think that we have to consciously be aware of who we have in our lives, you know. And I know it's easy to say, no, you know, I have to comment on this because it's really important. You know, I really like what Susan, my glasses, I can't see, sorry, what Susan said, and I like what Tara said. But I'll tell you, someone who was adopted in the 60s by an all-white family, my Facebook page is very diverse. But I remember my father saying one thing to me. He says, "I never knew I had a black child that put in an all-white porcelain tub." You know?
Wow.
And because he thought the same way. He loved me. 60s, you didn't do this. He just took me in. But I do this say is that, you know, you gotta look, you gotta know you gotta look at me and realize that I'm black. You know, and that's probably the highest compliment you can give me. And I understand all the time people say don't understand color because when you have the heart, it's in the heart. But look at me, look at my full lips, you know, look at my full thighs, look how I walk and the pride I have. Because by acknowledging who I am as an African-American female, you really give me that one of the highest respect. And it's not always a negative thing to look at someone like that. I think actually you lift them up because you realize that we all are the same, but we all are different, and that's why God made us to be different.
Let me clarify something real quick. I want to make sure that I'm being crystal clear. I think my point is, of course, I see someone as black, as Asian, as Hispanic. Of course.
No, you were clear. Yeah,
you were clear, Tara. You were clear. You were very clear.
My point is, I pray and I hope that we can all get to the point, because I think the ultimate goal is that some of us truly in our hearts do not look at that first and and use that as any determining factor as to whether they're going to be a part of your life or not. So we want to make sure you guys understand.
What Tara said that's even more clear and it's educating you. You are aware, just like Linda said. I have a black son and a white son. My black son is lost and he's on the streets with a backpack, and I'm concerned about if they're gonna come up and shoot him. I got to give him instruction, but I shouldn't say it in these words. But then my white son, I'm concerned that I'm having a different conversation with him. This is important that we educate, and it starts at home. And with our Caucasian nation, this all of it started from home, from get-go. And for you, Tara, for you all that are here to educate your children, and to get them on. That's why someone said here, our children are going to be the one. It may have been Ethel, because I know she be saying some profound stuff, Ethel. But and so she may have said that we have to. It was it was you, Melissa.
Yeah, it was Melissa. It was Melissa.
Okay, but the bottom line is that we do have to educate. It starts from home, and we have to because later on in life, our children are the ones that are going to be, they're watching and they're listening.
Absolutely right. You be saying some profound stuff too, Melissa. You be saying some profound stuff.
Yeah. Melissa, you had said, when you had said that about your daughters, you were talking about how you had to be groomed, how to function and speak and act around white people, and that you raised your daughters differently, and you were like, I'm not going to do that. That has stuck with me. It made me cry. I thought about it. I asked so many people about that. Did you? I had no idea. I had no idea that was a real thing. And I just want to say that sucks, and I'm sorry that you guys have had to live with that. But yeah, that was really profound. That has not left me. That has not left my thoughts. So
I can thank you, because I can tell you this. I know my daughters are making a difference on that front.
Amen.
And Darlene can attest to that. My daughters are making a difference on that front.
Well, Linda was saying that today about generations. The next generation will probably do way better than us.
Exactly. Well, one of the things I want to interject, and it's such beautiful. I love how you guys are just finding that commonality about, of all of this. It's beautiful. One thing that I want to interject, and for me, and I always have to refer back to my cousin because she's known me all my entire life. But one thing that I believe that I was taught was transparency. Okay. And Twana, knowing my mother always lived on the edge, but she never jumped over the edge. Okay. because she had the ability, just like Twana's mother, they had the ability to move in and out of circles and not be so pinpointed about the circle that they ran. And that they may have, if they didn't experience something too kindly, they wouldn't deal with it in the circle. They'd come back and talk about it after they got out of the circle. Okay. But the beautiful part about this, just a quick story, and then we're gonna move on real quick. I remember as a child that my parents and I we would travel from Michigan to Florida every year, and because most of our homestead, where all of our homestead was in Hollywood, Florida, and so we would travel. And my dad was from Tallahassee, Florida, and so it was a big part of a migration we do down there every year. But one of the years I remember going down, and my parents, we would always stop at different hotels. Me and the kids, you want to stop everywhere, okay? And this is probably in the middle of the 60s, and I was like, you've heard this story before. Going down, and I said, well, Mom, can we stop here? Okay. And she said, well, no, baby, we cannot. As a kid, you say, well, why? And she didn't take the approach to say that this group of people or whatever the kid was. She did say that this group of people, typically the Caucasian community, didn't appreciate who we are. Okay. And that really stuck with me, but she said, there will come a day when they will begin to appreciate who we are. She said, and the thing about it is that always love people for who they are. And that always stuck with me. You something? So that allowed my life to move in circles of being very transparent. Those of you that know me, that I'm just that way, and I don't make any apologies about it. I've had people tell me that, back in school that, hey, you're a white guy in a black body, and I said, okay, well, cool. Then I'm white today. Okay, because that's where you perceive me at that particular point. But the point of that being transparency about that is that I never lost who I was, but I brought who I was to the group. And because I didn't put who I was on the forefront, but allowed the inner me to be the part of the whole conversation. So you see what I'm saying? So I know you got so in moving in that allowed me to move into so many different circles throughout my life and have so many beautiful friends and things like that. So I never put the quote unquote, I could have chosen to put the ethnicity out there. You see what I'm saying? I could have said all of these other type of things like, and I know people have, believe me, they have had so many struggles. They've had things hit them. They've been in all these different, and I know that, and I'm not negating that. However, I think sometimes that we're put in situations to see how we are going to deal with it as that person. You see what I'm saying? But we go into it so negative. You know what I'm saying? And what we've heard and what has been put into us and the filters and that's white as well as black. You know, from the white perspective, I'm sure that there have been perceptions that have been put into each of you ladies' head about African American people. You know, and have said, well, you know, the African, be careful, grab your purse when you walk by an African American man because he's gonna attack you. You know what I'm saying? Or you see him walking up to your car, lock your door. You know, I mean, those are just real things that happen in society. And then at the same time, as an African-American man, I've chosen not to deal with it that way. I look at it differently. I like, well, obviously this person's not educated because I've experienced it, but it's nothing that I did put myself into to experience that. So I said, this person's not educated. But if they stepped out the car, I'm the type of person that will say, well, why'd you do that? Not attacking you, but why'd you do that? So I'm taking the opportunity to find out where they are, why they've gotten there, you know, and hopefully educating them to a different place, you know. But go ahead, you had a point.
Oh, I can wholeheartedly agree to what you said. And then on top of that, I wanted to add to what Melissa said. You know, I'm so grateful that she didn't even have to reiterate that, you know, they had to put that in the mindset of having to learn how to talk to white people, because, you know, it's so funny. You know, we grew up in the same community. Me and Melissa and her daughters, we all lived in Alabama in that same community, but our lives were totally different. You know, my grandma worked in white homes all her life. And the fact is that because she was trained to be around white people in that aspect, she was also taught to talk to white people. And then that was passed on to us. So I understood, Melissa, when you said that, it kind of brought it home a little bit home for me, because, you know, you go on jobs where they know your grandma or they know your mama. So if that white person know, you know, that white gaze is always going to be there. So you have to rise to the occasion and be respectful, because you don't want to put a dirty condemnation on the name, on the family name. So it kind of, you know, it almost brought me to tears when you said, I never put that on my, I wish that was never put on us, but it was because of the culture of, you know, that white gaze of saying, well, you know, Miss so-and-so knows me, so please come with that respect. Because I don't want y'all to be in no type of trouble. I don't want no trouble. That was the thing. I don't want no trouble. So please come with, you know, so that brought a little tear to my eyes too, Melissa.
So the next question here, and I know because I know I'd get allows another amount of time. So, what can you ladies say that will continue this movement on your everyday life? And I'm glad to hear that individually we're doing what we do in our families, and that's the number one way it starts. Tara, I applaud you, Linda, you know, and so and with your grandkids, Twana, you know, and so on, Susan, all your grandkids, and Melissa, and so on, so forth. You know, the one thing that kind of sticks out, and I think that maybe you guys can cross answer this question. Ask one of your white counterparts here. How do you feel? Okay, I'm about putting this right. Give them a scenario, okay, of them being in your shoes, okay, and dealing with something, and then ask them how they will respond to it out of your own personal experience. And then anyone can go ahead.
Good question.
I have one.
Okay.
Your granddaughter comes home and says, I don't like my hair and I want to be white. she's an African-American girl going to an all-white school, and everybody's hair is long and flowing and hers is tight and curly. And she doesn't like her hair anymore, and she thinks she'll look better if she's white.
Oh my God. That just makes me cry.
That one. I think I'm such a, first of all, Twana, did he say that you're a grandmother?
Yes. My oldest grandbaby is 25, I think, 24, something like that.
Wow.
You're like Benjamin Button. I'm sorry, that stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, she is not a grandmother. I'm digressing.
There's an expression, black don't crack.
I know. All the time. She sends me pictures like raising her eyebrows to show me that she still doesn't have wrinkles. I'm like, stop it. Get bangs or Botox. That's what we say in the white community. Bangs or Botox.
That's what I bang. That's what I bang. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I love it. I love it.
So, in regards to your question, huge, passionate advocate of children, have been my entire life. I'm a fearless fighter for children. And to hear that they don't love who they are is the number one thing you can do to get me to cry, which means I know that's part of the reason I was put on this earth, because they say if your passion makes you cry, and that's it for me. It's going to sound cliche, but to me, it is 100% reiterating to that child that she was put here on this earth for purpose, for divine purpose, because I am a firm believer that God puts each one of us on this planet for a specific purpose. And sometimes we don't know what that is. And sometimes through life, we start to see what it is. And it's like, oh my God, really? I have to do this? This is heavy. And even though that purpose is not beautiful and butterflies and walking a red carpet, sometimes it's so much more. It's so much more palatable. It's so much more powerful. It's so much more purposeful. And that child in that situation has so much power that she needs to tap into. So she needs to be given that confidence and shown that she is unique, and she has a unique opportunity to teach those around her about who she is, her culture, her beauty, her everything that she has. So as much as I could possibly build that child up, that's what I'm doing for my grandbaby at that time.
Wow. Beautiful. Amen. Beautiful.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Next question from somebody.
Okay, I have one.
You go ahead.
Your daughter comes home after you sat down and told her how beautiful she is and how strong she is and how confident she should be in herself. And she comes home and she tells you, and she's crying. She says, Mom, the black kids at school tell me I think I'm white.
So then I'm going to need names to go punch him in the face.
Yeah, right?
Because they say I talk white, I act white.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, are you directing that to anyone in particular?
I don't. It can be black or white. Tell me, how would you handle your child after you told them to be confident, to be strong, to be who they are, to love people and accept them, and they come home crying because the people that look like them, that they would think in their head might accept them, tell them that they think they're white.
Can I clarify real quick? So you're saying that, because I want to know and get this right.
Go ahead.
You're saying that their black friends are telling them that they're white?
Yes.
Because of the way they speak.
Because of the way they speak. And that they care more about their education than some of the other things at school.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily say that they're black things and white things, but they're just focused differently. And they choose to speak the way they speak. It's not because they're anything special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's true.
I don't even have an answer to that. That's just horrible.
Because I honestly, I'm going to sit back and get educated.
Yeah, me too.
And
Linda, what would you say?
Because it happened to me.
Wow.
Because of the way I was brought up. When I went to school to get my education. So I was looking for people who were common in what I was trying to do, because that's all I wanted was my education, because that's all I had. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't choose that my friends were this or that, and I didn't choose how I spoke. My mom made sure that my speaking is how I speak. And I got told I thought I was white.
Wow.
Wow.
Nothing about me white. Every day I look in the mirror, I see a black female.
Right.
So that makes me feel bad about me.
Yeah.
Because the people that look like me don't accept me. And I know that I'm not exactly like my friends. So where do I fit?
Wow.
And it takes a long time. I mean, I've got so many things running through my head when you say that, because I would say to my daughter, you don't have to fit.
Amen.
Because you are making you are your fit. You are you. And the people that are trying to bring you back to something that they think you need to be brought back to, or bring you down, is from where it comes from within them. However, telling that to your daughter who's experiencing the pain of the moment, it's not, it doesn't make it better. You know, it didn't fix it. It didn't fix. Otherwise, what are you going to say? Well, then don't talk like that. Go figure out how you need to talk. No, as a mother, you're certainly not going to say that to your child. My kids have been told some of the same thing, and for the same reasons. It's like, this is just how. And you learn, look at language, whether you learn a second language or whether you learn a accent or where you live, a child learns to speak from what it hears and how, right? So within your own home, if you are a black child raised in a white home who speaks a certain way, or you are a black child in a black home whose parents speak a certain way, that's who you are. That's the part of you of speech and language that you're going to take with you where you go. I had the similar thing with some kids, and I've also had when my daughter went to college and she went to a HBCU. She was told she didn't know she was black.
Oh, wow.
She was like, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am, because all my life in my white town, it was pointed out to me that I was the black girl, you know, and that she was mixed, but just that doesn't matter, right? So that became kind of, though, fortunately, although I think there was a sting to it initially, or what did that mean? But other girls embraced her and was like, you're black, we got you. You're going to be fine.
There you go.
And so, but at the moment, that could have been a train wreck, you know? Yep. And when you're talking about, like you said, when it's your friends, your group of people that you go to school with and you look to be with, and they say that to you, it just wipes out your whole, makes you, a young person think about their whole being. What else? What don't they like? What don't I do right? What do they mean? And then it also, to me, as a white woman, hearing you say that, of course, I also hear, so what are they saying about white people? Right?
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too.
All right back in. It's like talking to you about the way you talk and that you talk white. So there's something deeper there. So what are they being taught? And what do they think is wrong with the way a white person talks?
Right.
And it wasn't so much as what is wrong.
Drink my wine for this one. I don't know.
It wasn't so much.
You can drink alone, but I can have a glass of wine.
I need some too. But it's not about what was wrong. My parents did not speak the way that I speak. But they wanted to make sure that when I went out into the white world, not trying to make me speak white, but making me speak what they knew was proper.
Okay.
Right.
Not necessarily it being black or white.
Okay.
So it's nothing bad about the whole thing about saying that I sounded white or I acted white or my children sounded or acted white, because that's a point of ignorance to a degree.
Right.
About people just being different.
Right.
But that's not how it felt.
It feels, I just can't even imagine you having to hear that. I mean, you're talking about like the most fundamental part of a person. Like if someone said, oh, you know, Susan, you talk too much. I don't like you. Why you talk so much? Okay, well, I could learn to talk less, right? If I'm being annoying or offensive, right? But for someone to say about your color, right? That is like, you can't, this is who I am. I mean, what do you, I don't know. It's like taking someone to their very core and just saying you're not valuable. I don't even have anything to say about that. It just makes me want to cry to think about. I haven't lived in that.
Just speaking to that, you know, and again, I have to bring Twan in as again my dear heart, and I know how in our family how we were raised, you know, I mean, pretty much so. That's from her mom, from my mom, whatever the case may be. But one of the things that I know coming up, I could not speak what was not proper English. Okay, it wasn't a black or white thing. You know what I'm saying? Because she know, and I'm sure Twan know, I get popped in my mouth real quick if I was saying something that was incorrect, and her mother did the same thing with them. You know, so you know, I think that we have layers of cultural understandings.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying, and then you have subgroups within cultures. I mean, you know, because you could say that there's a group of Caucasian kids that don't speak proper English at all. You know, at the end of the day,
yeah,
there's a lot. You know,
yeah, I got one of them.
You know, and Don and I had a conversation probably a few years back about one of the things that we had started to see in society is tribalism. Okay, meaning that there has been a gravitation toward these different tribes that we are part of. Now, people think of tribes as Africans, but the tribalism is a part of the human culture. Okay, meaning that you're going to gravitate to people that are like-minded. You know, at the end of the day. But the problem with that is that where we in America right now, because the rise of tribalism could be a great thing, we're still on the resistance part of it. And it goes back to how we started earlier in the part of the conversation, like-mindedness. Everybody on this call has, on this show has a like-minded spirit about themselves. Because we've already found a commonality in the conversation. You see, you're already trying to find a solution to the to the situation. Nobody got on here saying, "Well, that white girl said it or that black girl said it." You know, you didn't do that. Okay, you came into the conversation tonight with an idea of, hey, if there was any differences, I'm prepared to have a conversation about it. That's like mine. So we here are of a different tribe. Now, this tribe right now, as before us, is a multicultural tribe. You see what I'm saying? So, but you know, and what is a beautiful thing, and there are more of us out here that are part of this multicultural tribe. You know, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think the multicultural tribe is rising in America. You know, but it is conversations like these that help that multicultural tribe grow. You know, creating that life, and some of the things that we may have had in our mindset previously. Okay, we need to let go. Okay, in order to move forward into educating society, the young people and those that we come in contact from a better place. Now, we can always still sit here and pinpoint about, well, this is still going on. That's true. And I'm not negating that, you know, but the beautiful thing about the truth behind the truth, everybody on this show recognizes there is truth behind the truth. You know, and that is a purpose. That truth behind truth is a purpose. You know what I mean? You have to purposely say that I really want to understand something different. I want to find something different about. I want to find my truth. You know, to make society better. That's what this show is about. At the end of the day, I know we got to wrap it up, but I want to hear a little bit more from Mama D real quick. You guys have been so good tonight. You know, and I think that hopefully our listening audience will take this from a different platform, because this is a group of people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, at the same time being able to come together and have a common discussion about topics of today, but not attacking the topic of the day. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. You could all came in and attacked, you know, the George Floyd story. You could all came in from there, but is that really solving the issue? You know what I'm saying? Is that really putting a place to eradicate the problem of racism? Which has been the tagline I put out all week about this show. I think today you guys have come up with solutions to eradicate racism. You know what I'm saying? Because the main thing is that, hey, I've got, like Tara said, I've got to educate my daughters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've got to let them know that, hey, there's a point in your life that girls that you see the color, but you learn to look past the color to see the human spirit of the person. You know, and then the color becomes a byproduct of the situation. Then they'll say something to their friends. You know, Linda, you've already made a practice of doing it, but at the same time, you got grandchildren that are coming along and being able to do that. You know, Melissa, you're still educating your daughters on a major level of that. You know, one of the things I can say, Ethel, about the beautiful spirit that you've done with your daughter. I mean, you're talking about this ball. Her daughter, so multicultural. It's like, you know, Ethel sometimes got to ring it back in like she's usually so multicultural, but that's a beautiful thing. Susan, oh my gosh, the pleasure of children that you have, you know what I mean, and the work that you've done and the work that you're continuing to do, you know what I mean, to educate that and making sure that your children, their children's children, you know, understand this message of the movement of, or as I said, this tribe. You know, we're a tribe of people. You know, Twana, oh my gosh. I mean, you know, for what you have done in your family and those that her story is so great. You know, I mean, and I always elaborate because I'm so proud of her. You know, she's older than me, but I'm so proud of her. You know, and what she has done as a single mom and what she has raised 3 brilliant African American children. I mean, no, I'm talking about children, grown folk. Okay, now they're grown.
Middle age.
Middle age, that's the middle age children, you know, and their stories are so beautiful, you know. But how, as a family, they came together. But at the same time, her youngest son it moves in so many circles, and if you would hear him speak, you know, I'm talking about Dante. If you would hear him speak, you would think, oh my God, this is a white guy. But Dante doesn't care. Dante he's gonna get his money. You call it what you want to call it. He gonna go get his money. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just using that as an example. But all I'm saying again is that this is just such a beautiful point, guys. And let's continue to move forward in our individual practices of life and who we talk to on a day-to-day basis. I'm gonna let you have kind of like the final words, you know, about tonight and just kind of where you see things, and then I'm gonna get a felt and we'll wrap it up from there.
Well, I'll just quickly say, I just want to first of all just say Happy Mother's Day to all of the amazing women that are in this on this call tonight, and to just to say how much I appreciate you and that you are strong women and you're a women of strength. And it's just interesting that I'm kind of going to close out and it'll take a minute, that I found a piece earlier today that talks about strong women, we as sisters, that we continue to build our children, strong men, build them up to be not only strong men, but men of strength, not only strong women, but women of strength. And many of you may have heard this piece, and I end by sharing this with you and those who are watching us. A strong woman works out every day to keep her body in shape, but a woman of strength kneels in prayer to keep her soul in shape. A strong woman Amen. A strong woman isn't afraid of anything, but a woman of strength shows courage in the midst of her fear. Yes. A strong woman won't let anyone get the best of her, but a woman of strength gives the best of her to everyone. Yes. A strong woman makes mistakes and avoids the same in the future. A woman of strength realizes life's mistakes can also be God's blessings and capitalizes on them.
Woo! Amen. Wow.
Nice.
A strong woman walks sure-footedly, but a woman of strength knows God will catch her when she falls.
All right.
And last but almost least, and this thing just blessed me today. I said, Lord, you help me. I wrote this out with my bad handwriting. That's why I'm stumbling. Okay, the last few things is a strong woman wears the look of confidence on her face, but a woman of strength wears grace.
Amen.
A strong woman has faith that she is strong enough for the journey, but a woman of strength has faith that it is in the journey that she will become strong.
All right.
Amen.
My prayer is for every woman on this line and for all the men and everybody watching. My prayer is that strong women, strong men will become strong women, strong men of strength.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Amen. Amen. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And that's where the money resides in those
That's
words.
right.
Yes.
Where the money resides.
That's right.
That's where the money resides. That's where the money resides.
That what you just said, Mama D, is and it's something because we're supposed to have a discussion about the things that we feared about, that right there answered the fear question.
Yes.
That right there answered the fear question that we all were supposed to come in and talk about, but you answered the fear question what you did. You answered it. My goodness. Woo, I'm sorry.
Amen.
Y'all know me.
Won't he do it? Amen. Won't he do it?
Every time.
Every time.
I love that how it just comes together. Oh my God.
Yes.
Woo. Go ahead, Harold, real quick. I know you got something, and then Parnell, and you can finish up, and then we'll close it. We'll close the show.
I ain't got nothing to add to that. I ain't got nothing to add.
Okay. Parnell.
I do. I just want to thank all of our sisters for coming on the show tonight and being in such a loving and sharing space. Because I think a lot of times people think, oh, the Black women and the white women are going to talk. Oh, Lord, it's going to be drama. It's like, no, we're together to build a better country for everybody that's here.
Yes.
And I think that's the truth behind the truth, that we've discovered that there is so much similarity that we are looking at, that we're all really looking at the world, maybe from a different lens, but we can all see where we fit into it, where we all have claim on the greatness that this country can be, to live up to what our creed says, that all men are created equal and are endowed with certain liberties, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that we're entitled to do that. And I'm trying not to get too long, but it makes me so upset, like when I talked about the hate crimes bill protecting Asian Americans. Like I remember where our sisters were saying that we have to continuously keep protecting individual groups, when the 14th Amendment was supposed to protect everybody or naturalized in the United States.
Right.
And that's when we talk about dismantling white supremacy. That's what that is all about.
Right.
Women should not have to come and have to fight for women's rights, because it's supposed to be guaranteed under the 14th Amendment. Black people, Asian people, Latino people should not have to keep having an individual bill written to guarantee our rights, claim to this great country. So having all of us, men, women, Black, white, straight, gay, whatever, older, young, coming together and saying, this is our vision of America, that we all are entitled to that, and we're all making claim on that, and I'm going to fight for my white brothers and sisters to have it. I'm going to fight for my Black brothers and sisters to have it. I'm going to fight for my Latinos, my Asians, my indigenous people. I'm going to fight for all of us to have an equal claim and be able to look at each other and like, we're Americans. I see you. I want you to be happy. I want you to have decent housing. I want you to have a good education. I want you to have a job that you can survive off of. That is America. That's what I see as the greatness of this conversation happening, that people can see us coming together and going like, oh, they agreed. They're on one accord, as they say.
Yes.
They're on one accord on this. So thank you all so very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Guys, hey, I love you guys. I would love to do this again sometime in the future. I'll be in touch with you guys individually. This has just been so rewarding, to encapsulate this 6-week process, of calling it sister to sister. And I'm gonna tell you sisters did it tonight. Amen. You sisters did it out of all of these topics throughout these past weeks. You sisters have really shown people what true sister to sister is and will be. Not can be, but will be. Y'all are powerful. I love y'all. Have a powerful Mother's Day. Move forward in your greatness. As Mama D said, move forward in your greatness. Let it all shine on you each and every day. When your feet hit the floor, know that you are great. You have been put on this planet to be great. You have birthed greatness, excuse me, both naturally and spiritually, and we'll continue to do it. Y'all have a blessed night. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. This has been, again, a powerful show. Wrapping up sister to sister. I could not have asked for more joy. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
You know, y'all know me. Y'all know me because when it's right, when it's right, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? When it's right, and I know it's right. You know, and hey, as a man expressing my tears this way, it's just the joy of my Creator letting me know. Letting me know. You know what I'm saying? That is right. All right. Y'all have a powerful night. Thanks again. Ladies, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too.
The truth behind the truth. Good night, y'all.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.